Hello YouTube, Vlogger Nerex Rants here, and this week is my first video for 2016 that is not just a plain old update video. This video is a response to Mike Huckabee and one of his many ramblings. This one is him saying that Obama is to blame for illegal gay marriage ruling. Oh, you can tell this is going to be incredibly stupid, so I won't stretch this out any longer and begin the video.
In the short time between the time that the President of the United States started calling people and congratulating them on their sexual identity and sexual preference, whether because they were in the NBA or the NFL, and he celebrated same-sex marriage and made it an important part of his administration's agenda. Just this past June, we had a Supreme Court decision, which I believe was illegal and unconstitutional, but we'll get into that later. But we had a decision, and most of the major corporations of America, brands that you have bought for your whole life, immediately put rainbows up on their website celebrating same-sex marriage. And the White House was lit in rainbow colors that very night. The point I'm making is this. We would not be where we are in that decision had a president not given it the cultural kind of acceptance and the authenticity and the authenticating that he did.
That has got to be one of the stupider rants I have heard. Now that you have seen the video, it's time to break down his arguments and debunk them. So Mike Huckabee firstly says that he thinks that the ruling on gay marriage was illegal and unconstitutional. Nobody cares about your homophobia, Mike. Nobody cares about your little fifis. The Supreme Court has said that the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution protects homosexuals from being denied marriage equality. That is what the Supreme Court decided. Barack Obama had nothing to do with it. Mike then goes on in that video to say that corporations put up rainbows celebrating same-sex marriage. Duh! Gay people have finally gotten the equality in regards to getting married that they have been denied for so long. Many corporations have been coming out in support of same-sex marriage for a while. Love wins! This also applies to the White House, and many members of the White House support same-sex marriage. And with marriage equality finally achieved, it was a rainbow celebration all around. He then concludes by saying that marriage equality would never have been achieved if Obama hadn't made the whole issue culturally accepted. Actually, according to Pew Forums, there were several reasons why the attitude on same-sex marriage changed. The first change in attitude was by generation, and this one's twofold. Firstly, younger generations overall support same-sex marriage in greater numbers. Also, the proportion of older generations who support same-sex marriage has also increased in recent years. Another area is in religious affiliation. Now, while black Protestant and white evangelical Protestants by and large don't support gay marriage, and the same was true back in 2001, also among Catholics and white mainline Protestants, now, however, 60% of Catholics and white mainline Protestants support same-sex marriage. A solid majority of people who are unaffiliated, and this includes deists, spiritualists, and atheists, and agnostics, and whatever. A solid majority of those people support same-sex marriage. A solid majority. And that's been the case since 2001. The next area of change is in political parties. The numbers are actually good. 2/3 of Democrats and just over 6 in 10 independents favour same-sex marriage. Now, only just under 1/3 of Republicans support same-sex marriage. However, this group has also become more supportive of same-sex marriage over the last decade. Up next, political ideology. Support for same-sex marriage among conservatives is still low, as it always has been, and will probably be for the foreseeable future. Around 30% at the moment. About where I expected it to be. However, for liberals, it is almost 8 in 10 who support same-sex marriage. Among moderates, it's just under 2/3. The final two attitude changes are among both race and gender. And in 2001, whites and blacks supported same-sex marriage in about the same proportion. down at 1/3. And the proportion of black people who support same-sex marriage, sadly, hasn't changed all that much. Now it's just under 4 in 10 black people who support same-sex marriage. However, nearly 6 in 10 white people support same-sex marriage. And finally, support for same-sex marriage between men and women have increased, both now at majorities, with nearly 6 in 10 women supporting same-sex marriage, while a bit over half of men support same-sex marriage. So you can see that the major change in the attitude towards same-sex marriage over the last 15 years in America is multifaceted. And no, Huckabee, it wasn't Obama that made gay marriage constitutional. It was the Supreme Court who ruled that laws banning same-sex marriage in the states were unconstitutional. And of course, federal law overrules state law. Now, before I do go, I just got one thing I want to say. If/ when Australia goes to a plebiscite over same-sex marriage, I will convert this channel into an anti-homophobia and same-sex marriage support channel. Provided it happens after the end of my time at university, around the end of next year, hopefully. I'll be doing a lot more videos related to same-sex marriage and countering homophobia. Ooh, yeah. Just a heads up for the future, so you can get some content, thing for about 20 months in the future or so. Oh well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day everyone. And fuck Mike Huckabee.